Well, that was rather loud, at least in my headphones. Hey, everybody, welcome in to the, let's do this right, Radio Misfits podcast and streaming platform proudly presents Pugs and Parker's Pillow Pundits every night at 9 o'clock here, Central Standard Time, on the aforementioned Radio Misfits podcast and streaming platform. Let's bring in Parker. He's the other half. There he is. Hey. There he is. All right. What's happening? What's happening in your world? Hey, Byron. Byron's here first. Byron wins. Byron wins those, I don't know, condom
points.
Package, whatever it is that we give out here. We don't give anything out here.
Oh, we give out points. He gets points for that. Points.
Points. All right, write it down. Who's keeping the ledger? I have not been keeping any ledger on points. I expect that's got to be your job since you're the only one who seems to have known about it.
Yeah. I'm keeping a spreadsheet over here with everybody's points. And at the end of the show, whoever gets the most wins.
All right. Very good. All right. We do this each and every day here at 9 o'clock Central Time. The Pillow Pundits with Pugs and Parker coming at you. Positively perverse. There's so many P's. There are so many plays on the P's that we can.
Why perverse? We could be prestigious.
Prestigious.
We could be prodigious.
Prodigious. Prestigious. Perverse.
Pristine.
Profane.
Profound.
Profound. Yes. All right. I'll work on that. I had a nice one this afternoon. Yeah, I rattled it off, but I don't remember what it was. It was something like, I don't know. Some of the words didn't make sense, but they started with P, so that's good. This is the second of two streams that I do live each and every day. The first one is called High Noon. That's at 12 o'clock Central Standard Time, all time Central Standard, because that is the only time that we recognize around here. High Noon is more about current events. It's just me. I'll go through all the things that are trending, all the hot topics, headlines, whatever it is that you need to know to get through your day without bumping in the walls and looking like an asshole in front of your friends and family. When they ask you, hey, what's going on? That's what I provide you there at noon. So consider it a service. You're welcome. How are you, Parker? How's the weather out there in, where would you be? You're out there in East Texas, out there in Tyler.
Yeah, it shouldn't be that much different than yours. But the way the cold front's moving, I guess on your screen would be like this. It'll probably hit you about an hour before it hits us. So maybe depending on how fast it's going.
It hit us 3 hours ago. It's been
it's
rainy and cold.
It's been sprinkling since about noon, and then it really started raining hard about an hour ago. And my phone tells me, the ghost of Steve Jobs tells me I have a 100% chance of rain through about midnight. And it doesn't really drop into the freezing area until about the time we're waking up tomorrow.
Really? So what do you currently have temperature-wise?
39.
32. Look at you. You're 7 degrees warmer than we are here. I just refreshed it. I am at
That's wild.
32 degrees. So I'm no scientist, nor am I Joe Rogan, but I can tell you that at 32 degrees, rain should freeze. That's right around the time when we're supposed to get snow. Although, James, I used to do weather. I used to prepare a weathercast for the old shadow services back before I worked in radio. And do you know, James, that just because the temperature here at our own level, our own atmosphere, just because our own temperature here is above freezing, doesn't mean that where the snow is forming, it's not like 20 degrees. It could be much colder up there when the rain turns to snow, and then it falls down to here as snow, and you're like, hey, it's 39. How are we getting snow? Because it's colder up there. And then it melts because it can't sustain itself if it's not 32 here on the ground. My kids' schools canceled for the rest of the week.
Losers. I know they canceled. Oh, down here too. I'm like, it's not even freezing yet. Like, it just started raining. They're like, we anticipate it maybe freezing tomorrow.
Basically the Plano school district for my kid, and Highland Park is out too. E's kid, Dominic, he doesn't have school. They canceled all of them. I believe Dallas Hall. I think every school in the state of Texas is basically canceled.
Yeah. At this point, and my sister's a teacher, and I was like, excuse me, do I get my taxes prorated this month? Are they going to let me keep a little bit more? She's like, no, that's not how it works. I'm like, well, are you still getting paid? Are you still getting paid for tomorrow? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, that's theft. That is theft. If we took money from some people to play their commercials, and then we just didn't have a show tomorrow and didn't play their commercials, that would be theft.
Not the same thing. I don't even know.
Well, I know
How
it's not the
you make
same
that
thing.
argument. So why are you making the argument if it's not the same thing? You're being silly. That's why.
No. That's the
Silly.
private sector versus public sector equivalent. If it's in the public sector, they can commit theft, but it's legal. It's just legalized theft.
Well, then you know what? Maybe you should go work at a private school, and then you'll have to pay.
No. She's much smarter to work at the public school where she can get paid for not working because it's a prepaid government monopoly.
Then you know what, Mr. Freeloading son of a bitch? Why don't you send your kids to private schools? Why don't you go ahead and pay that tuition so that you can release the tax burden off the fine people in the state of Texas who are paying for your little rugrats, all 54 of them, to go and suck off the educational teeth of the rest of us. I only got one. You got 5.
I'm paying taxes, dude. I'm paying my taxes.
That's true. You are. We all are. We all are. And I don't complain. I don't complain that I'm paying taxes for people like you who are sending 5 kids to a school when I'm only sending 1. And I don't even send them. But anyway, here's my take on the schools. So like Plano canceled school for the rest of the week based on a forecast. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it hadn't even started to get bad. And they were just like, here, the attitude of the Plano schools seems to be this. And let's just cancel it. Okay, so now that we've got the remote learning thing down, we're just going to do remote learning instead?
No.
Nah, just nah.
No.
But aren't the kids, haven't they already missed so much school? And isn't the argument against remote learning? I mean, I know that I, as a parent, the reason I want my kid in school is because it's such a better educational environment for them. Aren't we at all concerned about the kids? Nah, just whatever.
No. Look, we just don't want to work. The weather might be bad tomorrow. We don't even know if it's going to be bad. We think it might be bad about halfway through tomorrow. Yeah.
I don't know what is going on with this particular snowstorm, or you know what? I think this is just the age that we live in. That people are just. I'll give you an example.
Candy asses. Yes.
Chicago schools are canceled. Chicago schools are. I'm here. Let me make sure I pull this up. Chicago schools have canceled classes. And again, they're not doing it's not even like, okay, well, now that we've mastered the in-home learning program through COVID, why don't we just do it right? It seems like that would be the logical step, right? If you can't get the buses on the road, if you're concerned about that, because ultimately that's really the concern, that school buses, it's not safe for these school buses to be out on the road. I mean, once the kids are in the school, it's fine. The heat's working unless the power goes out. But so Chicago schools, let me see what the latest count is. Chicago schools have closed. And when I say Chicago schools, I shouldn't say that. What I mean is suburban schools. I don't know about the Chicago public school system, but I know I was talking to a friend of mine who's got a kid in the suburbs. Like, yeah, they canceled school. What the hell is this about? Do you know that in my entire lifetime of growing up in that area, that part where we get 2 or 3 blizzards a year. I mean, that's just something that we're used to. We get 2 or 3 blizzards a year. I would say that from kindergarten through the end of high school, so what is that? 8, 9, 12 years, 12 years of schooling, I probably had 4 or 5 snow days. Total. We would go, it would be wind chill factors of 50 to 75 below 0, and I was still out there waiting at the bus stop. We would have a foot of snow on the ground, and they would plow it, and we would go to school. And I mean, as a kid, I remember thinking, these people are animals. If we're not going to get a snow day today, when would we? Now it seems like they just snow days for any old reason. And it's got to be that, it's got to be social media. It's got to be all the people that are now going to be like complaining and going, I can't, you know what I mean? It's like we were litigious back then. We're more litigious now. And now there's more of a mob element to things that the schools do that the people in the community disagree with. There is way more of a mob element. And I believe it's because of Twitter and Facebook and people being able to organize. And they're afraid. They're canceling school. Chicago, the Midwestern states didn't cancel school for this snowstorm that's coming. This isn't even a big one by those standards. And they're closing ahead of time. Just want to let you know we're closed. So you'll be doing in-home learning since that's what we've mastered? Nah, just forget about it. It's not a big deal. Mike is off.
I was gonna say sometimes these overreactions can fix themselves. It doesn't happen very often, but we do have some positive examples of the pendulum swinging too far in one direction, and everyone says, "Okay, that's enough," and it swings back to something more practical. Like you know how Black Friday used to just be the shopping you would do after Thanksgiving, the next day, and then it became, well, let's open at 8, let's open at 6 a.m., let's open at 5 a.m., let's open at midnight, and then Black Friday kind of spilled into Thursday. And everyone went, all right, you know what? That's enough. We're just not going to participate in this crap anymore. And it started to slide back into not just Friday, but Friday during the day, not Friday at midnight, not
Yeah.
Friday at 5 in the morning. And we've seen Black Friday, and it was before the coronavirus, really forced its hand. It was already sliding back over
Oh
into
yeah.
Friday because, all right, it was kind of a thing we tried. It turns out we don't like living life like this, and so the pendulum could swing back the other way with the schools as well. Because I hear more people complaining about it, like, damn it, because people have to go to work still, and it's not like all these businesses are closing because we're going to get 2/10 of an inch of ice. It's just the schools.
Regarding the Black Friday thing, last year I bought my kid, or maybe it was 2 years ago, I bought my kid a PlayStation. Yeah, it was 2 years ago. I bought my kid a PlayStation for Christmas, and I purchased the PlayStation. It was a Black Friday sale that I purchased the PlayStation for my kid, and it was at Target. And I bought it the Monday before Black Friday. It's like, wait a second, it's 5 days. I understand, maybe you do it the Wednesday before the Thursday of Thanksgiving. Maybe that's okay. I understand you want to get jump on. We're
Wow,
moving all the way back to Monday Target.
that was
Really?
peak Black Friday overkill. That was the
Lord.
top of the mountain.
Leslie Collins says the power is going to be out, Pugs. Not in the Midwest, it ain't. Not in the Chicago area. The power didn't go out for snowstorms there. I mean, here, yeah, but it's different. It's a whole different kind of situation, Here it's weird because power doesn't really go out all that much in the summer when it's 150 degrees for 2 months straight. But in
Mm-hmm.
Chicago, if it gets over 90 for a couple of days, the power goes out. I don't understand.
What? No, it doesn't.
Yes, it
Really?
does. Oh, yes, it does. Dude, we had 400 people die a couple of years back in Chicago because we had, like, I don't know, 5 straight days where it was over 90. Like 400 people died. They just died. They were
Good
found
Lord.
dead in their apartments. Well, it's because
They don't have air conditioning, right?
not everybody has air conditioning, especially
Wow.
in the older buildings in the neighborhoods of Chicago. People just open their windows because it never gets really above 95 all that much. But then, yeah, they had meat lockers, they had meat trucks in the corners, the county coroner's parking lot that was just filled with.
Yeah, dude, a couple of years ago, I saw a stat that blew my mind. In the year 1970, only 30% of households had air conditioning. In 70, like 70, like 1970. No,
Here?
no. In America.
Okay, yeah.
In America.
I'll tell you the thing that I don't get about Dallas, and I love Dallas. I choose to live here, so it's not like if you don't like it, go home because I choose to be here. You son of a bitch. Thing I don't get about Dallas, and I get this about every other city, just about every other city in the country that you can name. I can get and I can tell you a reason why it's a city. I can tell you why it grew up around a certain reason. Chicago had the Great Lake. It was at the mouth of the Great Lake. And
Pittsburgh has the Three Rivers. Houston is the best bay.
shipping and all of that.
New
Also,
Orleans is obvious, mouth of the
yes,
Mississippi.
obvious. Los Angeles is a coastal city. That makes sense.
The
New York
furthest inland on the West Coast. Yeah,
Yeah.
deep water port on the West Coast.
But I don't understand, like in the 1820s or whenever the hell Dallas was founded, how they made it through in August and went, let's stay here. I mean, I don't have you ever seen the original house in Dallas? It's down there by Dealey Plaza.
Oh yeah. It's a little log cabin, and it's not the same one. They had to like recreate it.
And yeah, but it's on the spot, right?
It is. That is the spot where the
spot.
first little cabin was built.
That guy was a crazy person. Why did that person stay? I mean, I don't get it. There's no river here. I understand Fort Worth. Fort Worth was a military outpost. I get that. That's a reason cities grow up around military outposts back during the Indian Wars or the expansion era or whatever you want to talk. But I don't understand Dallas. I get Houston.
I think today, because it's Groundhog Day, so this is easy to remember. I think this is Dallas's birthday, 1856.
Is it really?
Something like that.
It's
I think
National
it was.
Texas Day. Today is National Texas Day, so maybe it is.
National Texas Day. Shouldn't that be on like our Independence Day?
That's too obvious, man.
Oh, okay.
That's too obvious. That's Texas Independence Day. That's not
Hang on.
just generic
Dallas
National Texas Day.
City founded. History of Dallas. Some dude in 1844 built that cabin, and then they got their charter in 1856. Okay. 2nd February 1856, Dallas was granted a town charter during the regular session of the 6th Texas legislature. But yeah, that cabin predated it by.
And what year was it?
1856. They got their town charter. It was official, but it had been settled since like 1839.
I don't know when was Chicago.
Way older.
No, not way older. No, man, that was heavy Indian territory. They didn't really expand that way until there was some big.
Until we invented the Colt revolver.
There was some big battle in Michigan that freed up the whole area. Some fort. Okay, 1812. I guess they're saying.
I would have guessed way older.
The modern city was incorporated. The city of Chicago, the modern city of Chicago, was incorporated in 1837 by northern businessmen and grew rapidly.
Wow.
Yeah. So Dallas is older by what, 4 years?
No. Dallas is younger by, what'd you say, 1847? 9 years?
1837.
Okay, 19 years. Dallas is 19 years younger.
All right. Yeah.
I would have guessed more of a spread.
Yeah. Well, we had to kill off all the Indians first and then send them all out to Oklahoma. That was the first things first, James, before the white man was willing to live there.
Got to get it in order.
Also, Chicago was founded. Most people don't know this. Chicago was very first. Who was Dallas's first resident? Didn't you just mention him?
Oh, man, I think I already closed that page.
Yeah. Chicago's first resident, Jean-Baptiste du Sable. He was part French. He was a black guy. He was a black French guy who they believe had a little bit of Indian in him. Or he married an Indian woman. I don't know. Whatever. Jean-Baptiste du Sable. Du Sable's a big name in Chicago.
Sounds like a fur trader of some sort.
That's exactly what he was. He was a fur trader. He was a French fur trader who came all the way down to this end. Here's the story. He was a Canadian fur trader who came all the way down to the end of Lake Michigan. He met a hot Indian chick. He knocked her up, and he decided to stay. The first non-native.
So much of our history has just been carved and directed by love.
Just dudes knocking up Indians.
And falling in love and sticking around. Hey, at least he stuck around and didn't abandon his kid.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
He wasn't an absentee father.
Actually, he didn't stick around. He actually left the city about 20 years later, but he's still credited as being the first founder. I think he went to.
Well, I take it back. He's a scumbag then. All right. Hey, before we get into man, I have some sports news too, but can we do Whoopi Goldberg first?
Well, I thought we were going to do the monologue first. Isn't that how we start each and every show?
Didn't we already do the monologue?
No, we didn't already.
The show's going by so fast. Look what time it is.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's what small talk will get you. All right, everybody, please welcome up to the 1%er comfort nest high atop you get it. It's James Parker with the monologue. Okay, let's get into it. Whoa. What, did I lose you? Where's your mic?
I muted it. Sorry.
Also, are all these just whatever I want?
Yeah. Forget. I was running out of time today. I had a lot of crap going on. In fact, I'm going to skip a couple of these. According to AskMen.com, the best pickup line is "You have a really nice smile," and the worst pickup line is "Let's just get this over with."
Oh, look at that! There you go.
Hey, and I saw this on Fox News. Rosie O'Donnell is now dating. She has a new girlfriend, but it's a mystery woman. We don't know anything about her except for the fact that she's not picky.
Oh, look at that. Oh, boy.
Oh, no, that's a good one. I disagree with the moves. I've seen what you cheer. Robert Downey Jr. told Variety magazine that President Biden is going back to principles, and he's now fueling speculation that he's back on the smack.
Look at that. Why didn't that fire? What? Oh! Taking down the president. That's what he does.
That's a little bit of overkill, but I'll take it. According to National Enquirer, Juliette Lewis has escaped from the Church of Scientology. The actress says, though, that since she has defected, she's been followed by this weird-looking spaceship.
From the planet Xenu, no doubt.
Yeah, aliens and stuff. According to Globe magazine, Bill Clinton's suffering from a little bit of the early symptoms of Alzheimer's disease. And that's sad because sometimes he forgets that he's married to Hillary, but he does still remember to cheat on her. So it's only like halfway bad.
All right, update material.
He likes sex.
Kids out there don't even know who Bill Clinton is.
Indonesia's cracking down on homosexuality, Pugs. It's pretty bad over there. Laws strict laws. They're not no more of the same sex Heimlich maneuvers even. It's like this. It's like
polite applause. Polite applause.
And finally, according to the Journal of Mammalogy, a dwarf hamster can drink 1.5 quarts of 190 proof alcohol without getting drunk. And this is why the little rodents usually smoke weed.
All right, very good. Let me close these out. I don't need these anymore. I don't need that anymore. Menage-a-log, I don't need that. And here we go. All right, moment of joy. We're gonna do a moment of joy. We got a moment of joy, and you and I are gonna break it down. We're gonna play a little game that I like to play here every once in a while called. Oh, that ain't the moment of joy. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the other one. Yeah, this is the moment of joy. Why not? Why not a moment of joy? Stupid moment of joy, but this ought to make you happy. It's just something to look at. Just something to look at and go, oh my God. Oh, look at this. Huh? Look at this old man driving this train. Look at it. It's a dog train. How do you get this job? I want this job. What's this pay? Look at these guys. Little party assholes. Look at them. Every day, this is what this guy does. You're an asshole. Look at you. Stop barking. Oh, look at that sweetie. That's a sweetie. That's a good one. Good one. Good one. Loud one. Look at this guy. This guy right here. Sit down, you jerk. How do I get this job? I want this job, James. That's a job. That's a job for me.
That would be a good job for a day.
What?
Because day 100, you'd be like, if I have to listen to one more effing barking dog, I'm going to eat a shotgun, Kurt Cobain style. No ketchup, nothing.
Oh. Jeff Glenn, what are you talking about? The ending of that the ending of that monologue was his moment of joy.
Yes, it's a sick burn. Sick burn.
Hi-oh. All right, one more quick thing that I want to do here before we get into your world. Here's another video that I want to play for you. Let's play Count the Assholes, okay? Now, you are a bit of an asshole, but that's why we love you. So you may not count the amount of assholes.
It can be interpreted by some as a-hole behavior.
A-hole behavior. All right, let's see here. Let's count the assholes. Here you go. This is trending today. I saw this just before we came on. This is one of them their dash cam cameras that caught, and now let's just watch it play out. All right, guy in the BMW. Kind of being a dick. Brake checking. He's
something stupid. Come on.
Exit right to exit 4.
Okay, let's see. Maybe we try.
all right.
Oh, maybe not. What are you going to do, idiot?
Idiot.
Okay, now we have brake check. Okay, what are you doing?
Okay, he's making his move. But look, guy in a pickup truck ain't gonna let him do it. What's gonna happen? How's it gonna go?
Oh, yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Suck.
Yeah, you suck.
Okay, all right, James. How many assholes did you spot in that clip?
Well, definitely two.
Definitely two. Okay, who are the two assholes that you spotted?
Both of those drivers, the truck and the dork in the sedan.
Yeah, but I count three because I think the people applauding the fact that someone could have been seriously injured in that car.
Oh, that guy's dead.
Do you think? Here, let's watch it again. Do you think dead? I don't know. I mean, it's certainly if he's not wearing a seatbelt. But listen to the way the Shooter Wong, we'll call him. Listen to the way Shooter Wong celebrates. I mean, he runs off the road, maybe busts his axle or something. You celebrate that because he's obviously an a-hole.
What are you going to do?
All right, now watch this. The guy in the white truck is also an asshole.
Oh, definitely.
Okay, now we have brake check.
Okay, so now here he's making his move, and now the guy in the white truck is like, I'm going to cause an accident. I'm going to cause an accident.
Oh, yes.
Guy in the white truck.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
God.
Very nice.
Very
You
nice.
suck.
Yeah, you suck.
now there's
All right, yeah, you
passion.
convinced me. They're a-holes too. There's
That's
four. There's the 2 drivers and the 2 play-by-play and color analysts.
can I make a what is going to be undoubtedly perceived as a racist or at least prejudiced statement, and I'm going to stand by it because this is based on my life experience. Um, People from China who come here are hard. They're hard people. They do not have compassion. They don't have compassion. They don't have empathy. They are like hard. And you know who's even harder? You know who's even harder than Chinese people?
Koreans.
The Vietnamese
The
people.
Vietnamese people, Koreans, Cambodians. Well, they've been a lot. Look, we saw what happened in the Rodney King riots where everyone else fled the city except for the Koreans. They got on the roof of their bodega with hunting rifles. It's like, I don't know how bad the military junta of the late 70s was, but apparently these guys are strapped and ready to go.
Look, I think that if you survive the Khmer Rouge, I think that, you're not going to take too kindly to an asshole driving on the road like that. But my God, maybe we Americans are just soft. And I don't mean all. I have one friend whose parents are from Vietnam, and they are mean. My friend isn't, but the parents are mean. And even my friend is like, oh no, they've been through some shit. They don't put up with anything. They are hardcore. I'm like, yeah. And that was just another example of that. We just watched somebody, and nobody is talking about the people just trucking along in that little black car who almost got killed. They're just driving along. They're in the slow lane, just doing their thing. Guy in the white truck forces asshole in the Beamer into their lane, causing that. Oh my God, nobody cares about nobody. There you go.
Right.
Thank you for playing Count the Assholes.
Yeah, but we are soft. Remember, we just canceled school because there might be bad weather halfway through tomorrow.
You go to school. That would have been this. You go. All right. What do you got? You got something for us to start here, James Parker?
Well, I don't know. I do you want to start with Whoopi?
Hold on, Jeff. The guy doing play-by-play was not Jamaican. In fact, his name was Shooter Wong, W-O-N-G. It was extremely obvious that man was of Asian heritage. Why do you know? Because he had an accent. Oh, I guess people from other countries have accents. Yeah, they do actually.
Yeah, and Wong kind of narrows it down to like not specifically, but at least a vague part of the globe.
He ain't German. Guy with a name like Wong, he ain't from Germany. And that was absolutely an Asian accent. Yeah, go ahead. Oh, did you send me the thing? Did you send me what you were going to
Yeah. So there's the 2. The first one that's labeled The View was the comments that got it kicked off to begin with. Okay. Now, just the only context it needs is the book they're referring to is called Mouse, M-A-U-S.
Mouse.
Yeah, so it's a graphic novel that came out in, I don't know, like the 80s.
I thought it was the 60s, but okay.
Well, somehow along the way, like in 1992, it won the Pulitzer Prize.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. I know jack about this book. In fact, I wouldn't have known about it had it not been banned.
Yeah, I'd never heard of it. Never heard of this book. It should also be noted that Mouse, which was it Georgia? The Georgia schools? Isn't that the origin of it? The Georgia schools banned Mouse from the school libraries?
Was it Georgia schools? I think it got taken off of Amazon or something, right? Or both?
No.
None? Tennessee.
It's Tennessee. There you go. Same difference. Okay, Tennessee is just a less glamorous Georgia. It is Mouse, which was banned in Tennessee, was not only not taken off the Amazon list, it is currently #1 on Amazon, and it is the #1 book in America according to the New York Times bestseller list. So,
yeah. That's why I was thinking Amazon, because it shot to the top of the Amazon bestseller list. That's right.
So whoever wrote Mouse, which is the story of mice who live in a concentration camp during Germany. It's supposed to be a book that teaches kids about the horrors of the Holocaust or whatever. Okay, so go ahead. I'm sorry. Continue your setup.
So that's what set up this discussion on whether or not it's appropriate to talk about such heavy topics as the Holocaust with younger children, or whether the Tennessee County School Board should have banned it for whatever reason. And so they just make some references to Mouse in the book. So when you play this Whoopi audio, that's what they're talking about. That's what set this up. That's the only context you need for this clip to make sense.
Yeah, this is the origin story for the whole Whoopi Goldberg kerfuffle.
Right. And I left a little more context in it. I left like a whole nother minute off of what everyone else is cutting off because I don't want to limit it to 40 seconds. The rest of the stuff deserves to be in there.
Context is important in these situations.
Yeah, and we have time.
Well, also, if you're going to do this, then let's be truthful about it because the Holocaust isn't about race. No. It's not about race. It's about
a different race.
But it's not.
Can I just say one thing that's always bothered me about this clip? Who was the person that initially goes, no, like totally agrees with her? Did you hear that?
There's Joy, there's Anna Navarro, and there's another lady. I don't know.
Listen, somebody in the very beginning totally agrees with what Whoopi says until everybody else on the panel disagrees. And then all of a sudden, everybody's in unison disagreeing. But somebody on that panel, when Whoopi said that, goes, no, yeah, I agree. Listen.
Well, also, if you're going to do.
Come on, play. Oh, for crying out loud. No, it's not playing. All right, I got to redo it. Here we go. All right.
Well, also, if you're going to do this, then let's be truthful about it because the Holocaust isn't about race. No, it's not about race.
Somebody says no.
It's about
a different race.
But it's not about race. It's not about race.
What is it about?
Because it's about man's inhumanity to man. That's what it's about.
But it's about white supremacy.
Yeah.
Well,
about
but
going
it's
after
not
Jews
about
and race.
But these are two
Romans.
white groups of people.
Well,
How
that
do
was after black
but
people
how-
too.
as white
And they were
But
after
you're missing the point.
homosexuals.
You're missing the point.
Yeah.
The minute you turn it into race, it goes down this alley. Let's talk about it for what it is. It's how people treat each other.
Yeah.
It's a problem. It doesn't matter if you're black or white, because black, white,
okay.
Jews, everybody eats each other. So if you're uncomfortable, if you hear about Mouse, should you be worried? Should your child say, oh my God, I wonder if that's me? No, that's not what they're going to say. They're going to say, I don't want to be like that.
They're playing music to get them out.
I want to be cool.
Yeah,
And
most kids, they don't want to be cruel.
No, they don't.
The producers are like, bail out.
They go for another 30 seconds after they start the music, and that's where the horrible stuff is.
You
Yeah.
know, we're living in an era where people are comparing vaccine cards to the yellow stars, where people are comparing vaccinations to what Anne Frank went through. Yeah. So it is necessary for kids to learn about
To
the
learn about man's inhumanity to man, however it exposes itself. I have to cut you off.
I just want to say that Mouse was banned.
You're
and
being
it's
played
moved to
off,
the top
Whoopi.
20 of Amazon's rules.
Your producers are panicking.
Yes.
People, the more you ban it, the more we want to read it.
Yeah, all right.
Notice how everyone else cuts off the clip before they start playing the bumper music? You've never heard that before, have you?
No, but I
That's so funny.
well,
Right?
I mean,
They talk for like another 40 seconds after the bumper music starts.
yeah, I think they're framing it to just be the absolute worst of it, not to give her context to explain it. Your thought, okay. Before we play the second clip, which was her, I've heard that this is her on Colbert doubling down, as they like to say now.
Kinda.
But what's your belief and opinion on what she said there?
Well, you can only be offended by what she said if you impart bad intentions on Whoopi Goldberg. If you believe this came from if you already believe she was anti-Semitic and a closet Nazi.
Her name is Goldberg. She's part Jewish. She married a Jewish guy.
She has claimed to be a non-practicing Jew before, and her real name's like Karen Johnson.
Right. But she
And
converted back in the 80s. And then she may no
Good for
longer be
her.
practicing. But yeah, she was like a Sammy Davis Jr. There was a movement among Black Americans to sort of move into, Judaism. A lot of celebrities did.
I was wondering where that came from. That was a marriage thing? Because I saw that she was a non-practicing Jew, and I was like, is she?
I thought it was a marriage. I thought she married a Jewish man and she converted like when she was very young.
Okay. Because, I mean, under some standards, I'm a non-practicing Jew. But
we all are.
Right, except for Jews.
Aren't we?
Except for practicing Jews. So, look, she's playing a semantic game. And, the semantics, are Jews a race or a nationality, or are they a religion? And, they're kind of both or all three. So it's, in the game she's
Gender.
playing.
They're also a gender. Jews are also a gender now, right? They're
No,
they're a
stop it.
religion and they're a gender. That's
They're one of the 32 or 56.
They're the hat trick of persecuted.
But she was also, look, she's really sloppy. She's not like well educated, using big words all the time. This is how Whoopi communicates. And I think she was trying to say something a little more complex and nuanced than she was able to express. And she does a little bit better job explaining herself on the Colbert Show, where it comes to a point where I still disagree with what she said, and I still think she was wrong. But I don't find it offensive in the least. People can say things I disagree with, and I'm not like, oh, we got to shut her down, or she's evil, or she should be suspended or fired, or she's an anti-Semite. No one, and I'm really slow to say no one or everyone or speak in absolutes because there's almost always exceptions to the rule. But I think we're okay. This is not hyperbole to prove a point. I think literally no one thinks that Whoopi Goldberg is a closet Nazi. So why is anyone pretending to be pissed about this?
Can I let me just say this about what she said here? She is both right and wrong at the same time. She is right. She can be right and wrong at the same time.
Yes.
It's just that the part that she was wrong about is a sensitive area in the current times. Well, maybe always, but more so now because of the examples given by Joy about people saying that the vaccine is like the Holocaust or whatever. So I understand that, but she is right about the Holocaust being about man's inhumanity to man. But she was wrong when she said it wasn't about race. The Nazis believed in the superiority of the Aryan race, so it was absolutely about race. She was dead wrong about that, but she was right. It is also about man's inhumanity towards man.
Well, and I think what she was trying to do is make the issue a little bit wider, because of course it was about race. Everyone agrees kind of that somewhat Hitler was sort of a racist, right? I mean, just a little bit. Maybe
it's been said.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to get in any trouble calling him a racist.
Allegedly, reportedly, don't sue me. I think it's pretty well settled that she's wrong about the race part, but I think it's coming from a good place. I think what she would like to do is zoom out and see these same sort of authoritarian tendencies that manifested themselves in this racial matter can also show up in other facets of humanity that aren't based on race. And I think that's what she was trying to say.
Here's what she says about her surname. She claimed in 2011, "My mother did not name me Whoopi, but Goldberg is my name. It's part of my family, part of my heritage, just like being black. And I just know that I am Jewish. I practice nothing. I don't go to temple, but I do remember the Jewish holidays." She has stated that people would say, "Come on, are you Jewish?" And I always say, "Would you ask me that if I was white? I bet not." One account recalls that her mother, Emma Johnson, thought her family's original surname was not Jewish enough for her daughter to become a star. So, whatever. But she claims to be Jewish. She claims that she is Jewish. And
well, it worked.
Yeah, it says here, her birth name is Karen Elaine Johnson.
Sounds like someone who does my mom's hair.
Known professionally as Whoopi Goldberg. Okay, so set up
Pugs, the lady who does my mom's hair, her name is Elaine Johnson.
There you go.
Karen Elaine Johnson.
We set up the Whoopi thing.
Oh yeah, do the Stephen Colbert. This is, look, you got to know
this is later in the day, right?
But they taped this in advance, so this was like a couple hours later. It must have been happenstance that she was already booked, because I don't think they could shoehorn her in that late unless they were looking for an emergency fill-in.
Okay, hold on. Let's get this straight. So The View is it doesn't air live in the Central Time Zone, but it does in the Eastern Time Zone. So it's an hour delay in the.
Does it really? That's a live show?
Yes, in New York it is in the Eastern Time Zone.
I just learned that.
So here in the center of the country, we see The View. It's an hour delayed, so it is taped when we view it now. When she did the Colbert Show tapes between 5 and 6 p.m. in the afternoon. So are you saying that she did the View show, she made these comments, the hubbub happened, and then a couple hours later she went and recorded the Colbert Show? Or are you saying that she recorded the Colbert Show before making these comments on The View?
No. She did the Colbert Show that night, just hours after making
the kerfuffle.
So she knows there's a kerfluffle, but there hasn't been time to get the consultants in to script the proper official response. And so what I think we get here, albeit sloppy, and she's really an elementary communicator. And I don't mean that as
I think she's a tremendous communicator. I think that's what she does professionally. I just think that maybe she's inarticulate in this particular area of explaining herself.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's probably a good additional nuance you put on it. But yeah, and I like this because I think this is the most authentic explanation, because she came out finally today, because this all happened on Monday. She came out today and she gave the official apology, and it's flawless. She just admits to everything. Everything I said was wrong. Everything I did was wrong. I've had discussions. I've changed my mind. I've grown. I apologize to anyone I've hurt. I apologize for thinking that. I need to do more. This won't happen in the future. I'm working hard every day to make sure that I'm improving my understanding of this situation. The apology today was blanket perfect. So, it's not legit because it's 2 days later and it's been crafted, and it didn't feel authentic. This is the authentic explanation on Colbert.
So were she Catholic, she would have given a mea culpa today, her full apology that you believe scripted and prompted by crisis management professionals and all that kind of stuff, right? Is that what you're saying? But this is the real one. This is the real from her gut.
This is the authentic explanation of what she said.
Okay, here we go from Colbert.
Yes.
On The View,
I did.
when y'all were talking about the Holocaust.
Yeah.
And would you care to follow up, clarify what you said this morning?
I don't know,
because it confused some people.
It upset a lot of people,
Yes.
which was never, ever, ever, ever my intention. I thought we were having a discussion because I feel, being Black, when we talk about race, it's a very different thing to me. Mm-hmm. So I said that I felt that the Holocaust wasn't about race. And people got very, very, very angry, and still are angry. I mean, I'm getting, all of the mail from folks, and the very real anger, because people feel very differently. But I thought it was a salient discussion because, as a Black person, I think of race as being something that I can see. So I see you and I know what race you are. And the discussion was about how I felt about that. I felt that it was really more about man's inhumanity to man and how horrible people can be to people. And we're seeing it manifest itself these days. But people were very angry, and they said, no, we are a race. And I understand. I felt differently. I respect everything everyone is saying to me. And I don't want to fake apologize. I'm very upset about that people are misunderstood what I was saying. And so because of it, they're saying that I'm anti-Semitic and that I'm denying the Holocaust and all these other things, which, would never occur to me to do. I thought we were having a discussion about race, which everyone, I think, is having.
I'll tell you one thing about this. It always irritates me when individuals are inartful in the way that they express an opinion on a provocative subject, and then they blame the people for misunderstanding it. No, you were in, and people took it the wrong way. No, Whoopi, nobody took it the wrong way. We heard what you said. You were wrong. You said it wasn't about race. It was about race. Now, James, I'm with you. I don't get why that's all that big of a problem, because she was making a much larger point about humanity's inhumanity towards man, right? I mean, how we are terrible people.
Well, and look,
I don't think she was saying that it's not as bad as that because it's not about race. That's not what she was saying. She was just being inartful in her.
And she was trying to say it's bigger than that because, he wasn't just killing people based on their race. He was killing homosexuals. He was killing
retarded
handicapped.
People,
retarded. Exactly.
Catholics.
So she said that it's not about race. Well, she's wrong, but I can understand why people would come and make a dumb statement like that because they're just bad communicators, just sloppy.
Not to talk about the final solution, which is what she is talking about there, Hitler's final solution, but the entire rise of the Reich was about the superiority of the German Aryan people in Europe and how Europe has been destroyed by people who were not of German Prussian descent. What happened to Germany after World War I, they were humiliated. The German people were they were the white trash of Europe. after World War I. That's why people were so upset, and that's why people were so willing to follow Hitler, saying, no, we are Germans. And by the way, he wasn't even German. He was Austrian, which is crazy.
Austrian Jew.
It's like a dude from Canada coming down here and getting everybody all whipped up about Americanism.
Right.
He wasn't even from Germany, but that's what it was about. It was about the superiority of the German people as they, are compared to the other, not even races, but the other peoples of Europe. So it was absolutely about the German race. The final solution was about blame. The final solution of killing the Jews was because he just thought that was just a component of what he was trying to do. He was trying to take over all of Europe and create another Reich, just like Frederick in Prussia, when the Prussian Empire was as big as it was and ruled over most of Europe. He was trying to get back to that.
Otto von Bismarck, yeah, those days.
The killing of the Jews, they were just being scapegoated. The Jews were the bankers, and the Jews had the monies, and the Jew, all of that stuff that we still hear today. So, oh my God, can you imagine if somebody just takes what I just said? What do you mean Hitler wasn't about killing Jews? No, of course he was, but I'm talking about his larger plan. The plan of the killing of the Jews was the final solution. That was just an aspect of Hitler's overall demonic play to take over Europe and then consequently the globe. He had plans on North America. He had plans on America, on us, on the United States. He thought that we would come under his thumb. So,
well, the one part I thought Whoopi did a good job of explaining is what she meant by, the racial aspect, in the fact that race is something that she can see. She can look at somebody and know what race they are, and you can't do that with Jewish people. And you can't do that with homosexuals, and you can't do that with Polish Catholics and retarded people and whoever else he was shoving into concentration camps.
You kind of do it with retarded people.
Some of them.
You can tell when a retarded person.
We didn't know about Daryl Hannah until you told us.
That's autism. I think that's different. But I see your point.
Yeah. So, and look, the thing is like the fact that she's suspended is ridiculous. First, no one was calling for her to be suspended. No advertisers were pulling their advertising dollars. Neil Young wasn't threatening to, pull his catalog from all ABC shows. You can't use me as bumper music on Good Morning America or whatever, no one was even asking for this, and no one really thinks she's a Nazi sympathizer. Like, not one person really thinks that Whoopi Goldberg is soft on Hitler. Like, no one thinks that.
What he does. No. But it's a gotcha moment. She's a very outspoken person for one side of the political aisle, and it's a gotcha moment. We do it on both sides. Any opportunity to be little bitches about something that is an obvious misspeak, we try to use to define them wholly.
Well, and how old is Whoopi Goldberg? Like 70 at this point?
Yeah.
Doesn't she have like an entire body of work, our entire lives, our entire grandmother's lives of being a decent human being who's not, you think you would have heard something anti-Semitic coming out of her by now. So I'm really skeptical. Like, someone has a 70-year history of being cool and on the level. And, even though I disagree with her politically, we can all agree she's a good person with a good heart, with good intentions. And all of a sudden I'm supposed to believe.
I don't even know if I can agree with that, but I see where you're going with it.
Right. But I'm supposed to believe that 70 years into it, we were all just duped this whole time and she's been a closet Nazi. Really? The black chick named Whoopi Goldberg
is a Nazi. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's 66 years old, by the way. I talked this afternoon about Whoopi Goldberg. I honestly, it's like, Pugs, what's your hot take on Whoopi Goldberg? I don't really have one. I mean, I don't know. When I think of Whoopi Goldberg, I think of, and this is what I said this afternoon, I think of the early comic relief benefits that her and Billy Crystal and Robin Williams put together. And I remember vividly one comic relief where Whoopi Goldberg came out to do her set. And I just remember thinking, oh God, can we get to Billy Crystal? This is not what I want, because she's not a comic. Whoopi Goldberg is not. Robin Williams was a comic, although Robin Williams was just, she used to beat me down too. I'm like, okay, that's enough of funny guy doing word association, and that's enough of that. Can we get somebody with some scripted jokes? Can we get Billy Crystal out on stage? Because that guy's a pro. That guy's going to come out and he's going to have the habba. I mean, I know what I'm getting with Billy. Whoopi Goldberg was not a comedian. Whoopi Goldberg was a comedic actress who created personas, and she became famous because she had some off-Broadway one-woman play where she played like 50 different characters with all different dialects. She was a homeless woman. She was a Jamaican woman. That's how she got discovered by Steven Spielberg and put in the movie Color Purple. That was her big break. She's not a comedian, and that shit's not funny. She was where's the punchlines, Whoopi? So really, when I think of Whoopi Goldberg, that's what I think about. And I think of her movie Eddie, which was kind of enjoyable, where she played a female basketball coach back in the 90s. I mean, but I don't have an opinion on Whoopi Goldberg. I don't watch The View. I'm not a 40-year-old housewife. I'm not a 40-year-old soccer mom. I don't watch The View at 10 o'clock in the morning. That's not something that appeals to me. They don't want it to appeal to me. If all of a sudden The View became my favorite show,
They're doing something wrong.
We're doing something wrong because we've got some fat 50-year-old guy who likes sports and beer, and suddenly he's into this show. I don't think we're targeting the proper demographic.
Yeah, people are getting fired if I like the show. Yeah,
yes, it's not for me. So I don't really have an opinion on Whoopi Goldberg. I do think she said something stupid, and I think she was inartful, and I think she got tagged for it because that's the world we live in. You get tagged for it. Suspended for 2 weeks, by the way. That's they finally bowed to the pressure because that's what ABC did.
From who? Who was doing the pressure?
Twitter. It's all over Twitter. You're not on Twitter as much.
Okay,
I live on Twitter. It's pretty crazy. There's a whole bunch of blue checks with podcasts, not even celebrities. Just somehow everybody else with podcasts gets blue checks. It's like, who is this person? I've never heard of this person. Mm-hmm. They all have angry pictures, angry profile pictures, like their hands are crossed. Like that. They all have like the same look, and they were calling for her head. And Meghan McCain, oddly enough, who is a former co-host of hers on The View, was one of the most vocal critics about this whole thing. She
of that?
Oh God!
She's ridiculous. Get out of here,
James.
My father, Pugs, my father.
James, Meghan McCain was deeply disturbed by what she heard. That's what she wrote in a tweet.
You can't. No.
I used to consider Whoopi a friend, but I was deeply disturbed.
Oh, Meghan.
They're not deep. Nobody was deeply disturbed. Nobody was authentically disturbed by
Meghan, you think Whoopi's a closet racist this whole time? You think she's just been pro-Hitler this whole time and hiding it really well, and you just actually accidentally got a Freudian slip out of her?
Well, Meghan McCain is attempting, her husband is Ben Dominic, and Meghan McCain is attempting to rebrand back into the right, because when she was on The View, she was forced in a lot of situations to be a little bit too lefty for, but again, her I don't know, whatever. She seems to be going hard in rebranding. Hold on. I seem to remember her doing something.
Dude, she had ruined her right-wing credentials when she had her radio show. She had
because she tried to become mainstream successful. She tried to have a network, and that's all lefties. That's all like, Whoopi Goldberg's and Joy Behar types. She didn't make the transition in quite the same way that Anna Navarro did, who was a right-wing Republican political consultant for years, and then suddenly she just sort of drifted over and got the big paycheck from ABC or Disney.
Yeah, and anyone else besides Meghan McCain?
Oh yeah, a lot of people, but a lot of people, the usual suspects.
Because the comeback to that is, okay, do you really think that she's soft on Hitler? Do you really think she's a closet Nazi?
I think she does. Here, let's see here. Doesn't Meghan spell her name funny?
No.
It's Megyn Kelly who spells her name funny.
Yeah, with the Y.
Yeah. All right, here we'll find Meghan McCain's.
Oh, I know what you're looking for. How about I just email it to you? Can I email you an audio clip there?
Oh, of what is it?
Well, it's a Meghan McCain. It kind of explains a little bit of like where she's coming from and like how she is where she is.
I thought that. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. Then I emailed it. Go ahead.
I thought there was a situation where like Meghan McCain made Nazi cookies or something. Did she get in trouble?
Oh my God, she made Nazi cookies.
Wasn't she like cooking and she was wearing like a Nazi uniform like a few years back? I don't know. Here I'm trying to find what she said here.
Did you not get the clip I just sent you?
Yeah, here, I'll look for it right here. Okay.
My father, my father, my father's my father. I mean, my father, 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 my father's my father, 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 and my father, my father.
There she goes.
That's just her on The View.
A couple months ago, she got her ass handed to her on Twitter because this woman, talk about not being self-aware. Okay. I mean, I like to think that I'm pretty self-aware living here in the guest house rent for. I like to think that, I'm not going to step outside of my comfort zone as far as who I think I am. She got hammered. I want to say it was before Christmas. Maybe it was just after. No, it had to have been before Christmas. But she got hammered for something that she said on about Hunter Biden using his father's accomplishments to carve out a career for himself.
Oh man, I would have melted like Icarus wings, like right.
She got destroyed. Just the nerve.
Someone played the My Father montage is what they did.
The level of the lack of awareness about who you are and who the people see you as,
and why anybody knows your name.
Complaining about patronage to complaining about
nepotism, right? She's a poster child of nepotism.
Else gets so whatever. She's I don't know. Well, I don't know how to get into anything. We're just about out of time. Got anything you want to do in closing?
Oh my God, I found the stat of the day. You remember the update on Leah Thomas? Who's Leah Thomas, Pugs? Your favorite swimmer?
Leah Thomas is the UPenn swimmer who was last year on the men's swim team. His name was Garth Herbert or Will something. And now he has transitioned into a female swimmer and she is kicking the other female swimmers' asses, and the other female swimmers are like, this ain't fair. He was like an elite male swimmer last year, and now he's here. So that's who Leah Thomas is.
Okay, I learned from you that the NCAA had a ruling on how they're going to handle the admission or exclusion of trans athletes at the swim meet that's coming up in March. That is the championship.
Mm-hmm.
And they punted. They said, well, we don't really set the policy. We just mimic whatever USA Swimming sets, and whatever their policy is going to be, well, by God, that's what we're going to adopt. We're not the ones who make the decisions here. And so they just totally punted. And so everyone's looking at USA Swimming. So yesterday, USA Swimming punted. They said, we're not going to decide who gets to compete and who doesn't compete. We're going to have a 3-person panel of medical specialists who are going to examine each one on a case-by-case basis and see if they have an unfair advantage.
Okay. Well,
due to their prior physical development of the athlete as a male.
Can I weigh in on that?
Yeah.
That sounds like the right way to go.
Well, it depends on what this panel comes up with, because if they just rubber stamp all the trans people through, then it's just a cover story. If they actually start excluding people, now I'm interested.
We don't get to do that. We don't get to agree with them only if they do what we want them to do. And I think both of you believe that there is an unfair advantage. But if we are going to designate them, if we are going to agree that they are professionals and what their opinions
I don't.
Oh, so you don't agree that they're professionals, but you do if they agree with you.
Well, we're not going to have a problem if they're just the cover story to do the right thing to shield themselves from a lawsuit. Because if they say Leah Thomas cannot swim with the women,
which is what they should say.
Yeah, exactly. Then the 3-person panel is just a legal proxy to separate themselves from the decision-making process, and thus hopefully some sort of insulation from lawsuits. That's all this is a legal construct to put some foam insulation between you and the heat that's coming if you are going to deny her. Now, if they are doing the opposite and they totally plan on letting Leah Thomas swim and they just say, well, it was just this panel of experts. We didn't do it. You get this same sort of insulation, whichever way you choose.
I want to address Jennifer Hernandez. She says, what the F? I'm a 40-year-old soccer mom and I don't watch The View. Well, it's not 100%, but you, if you are a 40-year-old soccer mom, busy doing whatever you do, you are exactly who the target audience for The View is. That's all I'm saying. It doesn't mean that every single 40-year-old soccer mom has to watch The View. It's just that they are creating content that theoretically appeals to you, or they think appeals to someone like you,
All right,
as opposed to someone like me.
Now, I said I had the stat of the day. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, stat of the day.
Okay, so this comes from the statement that USA Swimming put out yesterday, and I just saw this on CNN.com. I didn't see the whole statement from USA Swimming, but CNN says that in this statement, with this new solution, with this new panel, they gave some reasons on why they're doing this, and they threw in this stat that you and I we've been speculating about, but this solves it. USA Swimming says, according to their statistical data, the top ranked female swimmer in 2021 would be ranked. What do you think she would be ranked across men?
Yeah, like, so with the top ranked male swimmers, if you were to just say who's the top ranked swimmers regardless of gender, where would the top female come in?
Yes, where would she come in?
Oh God. Well, there are hundreds of swimming programs. I would say outside the top 100, absolutely.
536th.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a slam on women to say that male bodies are designed differently.
Yeah, of course it's not a slam on women. Like we did anything to deserve that. Right?
Women are better than us at other things.
Right.
It's just not weightlifting or apparently swimming and sprinting. I mean, there will never be a female who holds the record for the fastest 40-yard dash. That will never happen because of the way the male body is designed. That's simply a fact. It doesn't make me a misogynist to say that. It doesn't.
Yeah, well,
there will never be a man who gives childbirth. They're just not going to happen.
I know, but Pugs, it's funny you say that because in like the same week, people are hollering for Joe Rogan to be canceled for misinformation. Apple releases the pregnant man emoji. Did you see this? This is not a joke. There's an emoji of a pregnant dude. It's a dude with a big old pot belly. Really? It's real. That's not a joke. That really happened. That's happening right now.
Men and women are different. Trans is real. People who have that issue are real, but men and women are different.
That's okay. That's not a statement of bigotry.
It's not. It's really not. Okay. Man, I just want to get along with everybody. I could have a trans friend. I don't know any. I don't really see. This is the thing that really...
Did I tell you which one of my best friends is a trans?
Yes, I know. We've had conversations about
Jesus,
it. Yes, you have someone who's incredibly close to you who is trans, and you've been incredibly close to this. Them, is that the proper way, or does this person go by her now?
It depends on if she's dressed up, and I imagine she's dressed up right now because it's 10 o'clock at night. Look, if he's at work and dressed as a dude, he's a dude. If he's in a dress, call him her.
He's living that part, or they are okay. All right,
no, it's him or her, and it's probably a her. It's this late at night.
It's not them.
And they call it dressed up. He calls it dressed up.
Okay. Oh, but is he different? Like, then he sounds like he's a transvestite as opposed to a transsexual. Those are two very different things.
If not for the impact it would have on his career, he would have already had the top surgery. He's gone to consultations for the top surgery, actually.
But because of this person's specific career, and we won't go into that, but it is this person's career, which may or may not be in the public eye to some degree.
I mean, aren't we all? I mean, the assistant manager of Gap is in the public eye.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right. What's the other thing I wanted to mention before we cut out of here? Nah, that's it. I'm gonna go and watch Pam and Tommy on Hulu. The first 3 episodes.
That might be really good.
Yeah, it looks great, man. Seth Rogen, Nick Offerman as the guys who stole the sex tape, and then Sebastian Stan, the Winter Soldier, as Tommy Lee, and some girl playing Pam
Who looks a lot.
Might be hotter than Pam. They might have done.
Who is this girl?
Yeah, let's find out.
I did. Here, we'll do it on tomorrow's show.
No, I want to do it now because I'm tired.
Okay.
Stick around. Who plays Pam? Come on. How easy is this? You can probably do it quicker.
Well, we could do like a tease and a cliffhanger.
Who plays Pam on Pam? Lily James. Oh, Lily James is somebody. Hold on. Now I got to look up Lily James. Lily James is somebody.
Really?
Yeah. Lily James is somebody. Why do I know who Lily James is? She really is beautiful, and where's her Wikipedia page? Here it is. Okay. Lily Chloe Nanette Thomason, known professionally as Lily James, English actress. Yeah, okay. She was in something. Was she entitled? Is she famous? Is her father somebody? Relatives? No, maybe not. Anyway, I've heard of her. She's been in things. She's been in things that I've seen. Oh, Baby Driver. That's it. She's the girl from Baby Driver.
What's Baby Driver?
Oh, you never saw Baby Driver?
No.
Baby Driver is the movie. Oh, it's awesome. Baby Driver is a 2017 action film written and directed by Edgar Wright. Edgar Wright, come on, Shaun of the Dead and all of those.
Oh, nice.
Stars Ansel Elgort as a getaway driver seeking freedom from a life of crime with his girlfriend, Lily James. Kevin Spacey, John Hamm, Jamie Foxx, John Bernthal. It was really good, dude. If you've never seen Baby Driver, it is awesome.
I love Kevin Spacey.
He's like a kid. He's like a young kid who is in. I like Kevin Spacey. I don't give a care what he's into. I like Kevin Spacey. Although he does seem like an asshole. Like,
14-year-olds, dude. 14-year-olds.
Has that been proven?
Well, one of them testified, yeah.
Then wasn't that the kid at the bottom?
Allegedly, reportedly. Yeah, how about we just stick with that?
Okay. All right. Whatever. Separate the art from the artist. He was a good actor.
Hey, Netflix believed him.
I like that. Whatever. So Baby Driver's about just a young kid who just is exceptionally gifted at driving getaway cars for bank robbers. So these guys like John Hamm and Kevin Spacey and Jamie Foxx, they hire him to be their getaway driver. It's not a comedy. It's a cool ass Edgar Wright action. Yeah, Baby Driver. You should see it. But anyway, that's where I know Lily James from. She's his smoke show girlfriend in it. And now she's Pam Anderson. And it
looks like she came up, got famous with Downton Abbey.
Oh, is that what she? Well, I wouldn't know.
Yeah. I mean, neither, because I pee standing up, so I don't like that.
Did she? Too many accents,
Too British.
Here's the thing: if a television show is set during a time before television and they're not killing each other with swords, I don't want to watch it.
Yeah, right. And no one's getting decapitated.
That's right. There's got to be extreme violence. There got to be sword fights. If it's happening before television, I'm not interested. Although I will tell you that the new Downton Abbey, the show that's now on, I think it's on HBO or something. It's set in New York. It's about like the Gatsby age of New York with the Gilded Age. I think that's
all right. I love those period pieces.
Well, that's the new one from the creator of Downton Abbey.
Cool.
It's supposed to be really good. It's getting good reviews. So I'm going to wait for an entire season to post, and then I'm going to try and watch it. But not Downton Abbey. That ship has sailed, my friend. All right. I'm going to go watch Pam and Tommy on Hulu. First 3 episodes posted today. So I'm going to go watch them.
All right. I'm still watching the new season of Ozark and Money Heist. I'm going through Money Heist.
Isn't that subtitled?
You know what? The overdubs on this one are good enough. It's tolerable. It's better than the subtitle.
Because Money Heist looks like something I would enjoy, but not like Narcos. I got past the subtitles really easily because there was also some English in it.
Well, here's the weird thing with me and my wife. Me and my wife would watch Narcos with the subtitles because we understand enough Spanish that we can really not use the subtitles much. But Money Heist is set in Spain. And it's not that different, but it's just different enough that we're like, I can't keep up.
Can I give you a pro tip for watching TV?
Yeah.
Should you ever find yourself watching any British television shows that are in English? Put the subtitles on.
Oh, definitely. I definitely do.
It'll help. You'll get like 75% of what they're saying. But
bro, I do that for Snatch.
Yeah. Oh, you need snub time. Yeah. Well, Peaky Blinders, which is my favorite.
I did it for Peaky Blinders too. Yes.
God, you enjoy it so much more because
Agreed.
you get the little. They're mumbly and they're speaking like trash English, because they're not like Londoners.
No, you're totally right. Solid advice.
So if you just put on the subtitles, even though they're speaking English, the words you don't catch, you can just look at the subtitles and it comes through. All right, thank you, James. There he goes. That's James Parker. He is the Parker of the Pugs and Parker. We are the Pillow Pundits here on the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. I'll be back tomorrow at noon, high noon. Join me then, won't you? I know some of you have the day off, whether it's because of school or because of the roads. Just stay in. You're like me. I did all my shopping. I'm not leaving anywhere. I gotta leave Friday to go pick up my kid. Hopefully the roads will be all right then. We'll see how all that goes. Do I have anything else? Support the show if you can. Appreciate it. End of the month. Definitely. What do you mean end of the month? It's already like the third day, heading into the third. Yeah, but we didn't make it last month. So anything you can do to help out, we'd appreciate that. And we'll see you tomorrow for the high noon edition of That's just me. That's just Pugs Moran high noon. Parker doesn't join me then. All right, bye everybody. Love you. Be safe. It's bad out. Oh, is it bad out? Okay. So here's my looking out the window weather report. I can tell by the pool that there are still raindrops falling. It's not raining as hard as it was, but I will say this: the big giant scary tree outside of that hangs over the guest house here that one day is going to collapse, and it is currently being held up by cables. The big giant tree does have a lot of ice forming on it, so ice is forming here in North Texas. The best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. Different way. Oh, breaking news. Breaking news. Hold on. Breaking news. It is now 30 degrees. It has dropped 2 degrees in the last hour. It is now 30 degrees. That is understood. It's understood. Far from the comfort nest, he sang. Okay, bye everybody. Love you. Sleep well. Stay warm. Stay off the roads. Do what you need to do to get by. It'll pass. It'll be nice again on Monday, I promise.